Can you believe she told me Monday is International Leg Day? Why would she say such a silly thing? Motivation is a terrible strategy. Half the time my alarm goes off on Monday morning, I do not feel like lifting. And every time I relied on feeling inspired to get under the bar, my progress completely stalled out. If I only benched when I felt 100% ready, I'd be stuck where I was 3 years ago. You don't need a surge of inspiration. You need a system that doesn't care how you feel. Welcome back to the Success Fitness Podcast. I am Christian Evans, and today we're going to talk about why we bench on Monday. I thought that was blasphemous. Last week, I was on Twitter when someone had the nerve to say that Monday is International Leg Day. So I replied, no, it's International Chest Day. There's nothing like a fresh cup of coffee on a Monday morning when it finally kicks in. Monday mornings are great because it's International Chest Day. Every Monday, people joke that it's International Chest Day, and I love it because we bench on Monday. We bench on Monday is a routine I follow for the past year or so. It's become my way of staying motivated and consistent with my bench press training. The power of a routine. There are days or even weeks when I go into Monday thinking, I'm going to lift heavy, I'm going to push more weight, I'm going to stay consistent. Then there are other Mondays when I feel the exact opposite. I tell myself, just get in there and move some weight. Either way, I show up. That's the beauty of having a routine. Everything is connected to my health and fitness, so I have to find ways to stay motivated. One of the best ways I found is by creating a routine. Once I dedicate a certain exercise to a certain day, it becomes much easier to stay consistent. It becomes easier to plan, easier to commit, and easier to follow through. For me, Monday is bench day because we bench on Monday. Monday is International Chest Day, not leg day. So last week I was on Twitter and someone had the nerve to post that Monday is International Leg Day. I laughed out loud because I thought that was blasphemous. So I replied, no, not actually. It's International Chest Day. You're wrong. LOL. And I want to emphasize the LOL because it's all in good fun. It wasn't meant to be taken seriously. It's not some universal law that everyone has to bench on Monday. It's not an international rule, but it should be, that everyone has to train legs on Monday. Make Monday whatever you want it to be. The important thing is staying consistent. What keeps you consistent? Whatever motivates you to get into the gym, lean into it. Work on what you want to work on. Try different exercises, experiment with different routines, train at different times, if that helps. Find what keeps you showing up because, let's be honest, the weekend was enough. Or was it? That's always a challenge heading into Monday. The weekend was so enjoyable. This past weekend, I got to spend time with my family. I had time to relax and recharge. But we all know what happens when Monday morning arrives. It's time to get back to work. The road to 405. My ultimate goal on the bench press is a 405-pound bench press. And that's why we bench on Monday. Every Monday is another opportunity to move up one step closer to that goal. I've been chasing it for the past 2 or 3 years, and every time I get close, I end up stopping. We bench on Monday is my reminder to keep working, to keep showing up, to keep progressing. Don't give up. Don't stop. It doesn't matter what happened on Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, on Sunday, because we bench on Monday. Every day is chest day, but we bench on Monday. Now, that is from my blog post titled, Why Do We Bench on Monday? And you can find this blog post on my blog, christiansweightsuccess.net, that I will have linked in the description. Now, if and or since you've been following me on YouTube, every Monday I post my bench press videos, and I've been using the mantra, we bench on Monday, because it takes from an international chest day type of feel. I don't know who started it, when it was started, but I know I've just been following it, that Monday is International Chest Day. And it's just a thing that, we go to the gym, and if there's anything, there's a day that you can mark on what you can do or should do is Monday. Monday is bench day. Now, again, I don't know who started it. I could look it up. I should look it up. But, it goes into the gym lore of you can see somebody every single day in the gym and don't know their first name. Maybe that's a guy thing. I don't know. But it ties into that to where you just go work. You know, you may not know who the person is who's working next to you or your spotter or what their name is, but I think you should know your spotter's name. But it ties into that of just get to the gym. Just get to the gym, and whatever motivates you to get to the gym, then show up to the gym for that. Mine is bench pressing. Monday is International Chest Day, and this is why we bench on Monday. For years, I've been chasing this 405 bench press, and I've gotten close, and every time I get real close, I just stop. And that ties into a blog post I had titled, Finish What You Start. My mom used to always say, boy, finish what you start. And, I just get so close and I just stop for whatever reason, right? And I know my time is limited. I'm getting older, and, you understand about motivation can tend to die down or be reduced. And this is why I say, motivation shouldn't be an extrinsic factor. It shouldn't come from somebody else. It comes from within. Because what happens if I don't have the right cup of coffee? What happens if I don't have enough coffee? What happens if I don't have coffee, period, to, charge me up? What happens when I don't find the right YouTube video to look at to motivate me to get to the gym or exercise the right type of way? So this is why I say this is an intrinsic factor for us to just get to the gym. For me to get to the gym, even with a home gym, I still have to find some type of motivation to just get down here and just work out. And it shouldn't take all that. This is a part of a routine, and part of a routine that I've built. If anything, I know I have to show up on Monday and hit this record button on my phone and document my bench press journey. Sometimes I talk in the video, sometimes I don't, and it just depends. But I've gotten to a point to where now I've built this routine up so much that I feel guilty if I don't post. I feel guilty if I don't bench press. And don't get me wrong, when I say guilty, it's not any type of pressure from anybody outside. Like, oh, if I didn't post Monday, then on Tuesday or Wednesday, somebody's inboxing me, or why didn't you post? And I feel some type of anxiety. No, it is not like that. Trust me. But this is all in fun. I believe when you work out, you still should have some type of fun. You still should enjoy it, and you got to find what works for you. And I found it funny that on Twitter, somebody had posted that Monday was leg day. And I did reply back to him, and we had a nice little joking exchange. And it's whatever you want to do on Monday. It's whatever you want to do. But far as for me and my household, we bench on Monday. And this has just been keeping me consistent. Even if it's the same weight, I feel a certain type of way that if I stay at the same weight, that I'm not progressing. And at the same time, at least I'm staying consistent at showing up. And that is just my personal signal to just make sure I show up and work out, and show up and work on my bench press. And throughout the week, I'm doing different accessory work just to make sure that I'm not injuring myself, that I'm not overstraining my body. I'm not overstraining my shoulders and my back. And I understand when it comes to bench pressing, there are a lot of additional exercises that I need to do to make sure that when I come back to the gym on Monday exclusively for bench press, that everything I did Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, that it adds up so I can have a better bench press Monday. For example, my rear delts, my triceps, my forearms, and my lats, my shoulders, interior shoulders to be specific, my core, my legs, my hamstrings, my quads, my calves, my cardiovascular health. Everything ties into this one lift. And I get an assessment of what I need to work on after I bench press, because I'm going through the movement and I'm feeling like, oh, why do I feel this? Or why don't I feel this? Why am I straining here? Why is this so tough this week? Oh, why is this easier this week? And it's all because of the consistency of the goal. And I'm understanding having goals, and I'm understanding having a plan to reach that goal. And my goal is a 405-pound bench press, but I do know there are certain things I need to make sure I do in order to make this happen safely, and just taking my time. Leg drive is very important in bench pressing. Leg drive, so I have to make sure my leg's strong. So I need to dedicate a day to work out on legs. But it won't be Monday. it won't be Monday. But to tell you the truth, I have used Monday as a leg day years ago, and I've also combined chest and legs. So don't be afraid to combine two different muscle groups to work out or train on whatever day. Because what's most important is that you show up. That is the most important thing. And you show up for yourself. And the weekend can be so fun. The weekend can be so let your hair down, even though I'm bald headed. And when it comes to Monday, it's the start of the work week. And I like to work out in the morning to set my day off and set the week off, correctly. And just to get to the gym, just to get under the bar, it does take a little bit more than it did last year and the year before. But what made it tough was not having a routine. And We Bench on Monday is a personal routine. And if you want to join in on this, just hashtag We Bench on Monday and just post your bench press video. Don't matter if you're benching 80 pounds, 100 pounds, 200 pounds, or whatever. This is just a signal that I showed up and I'm putting in some effort. I'm putting in some work. Now, there are days where after I bench press, I'm like, I could have did more. And this is when I understand workout buddies and spotters, because there is sometimes when I'm lifting heavy and I get kind of doubtful when it gets a little bit heavy, that I don't want anything just falling on me. And if I had a spotter, I think I could push a little bit more per se, because I have that security that somebody is going to hopefully help me if I can't, get this up, if I can't get the bar up as far as with the weight. And I just pray they're strong enough to at least assist me to pull that up off of me. I can't remember if I've ever had the bar fall on my chest because I couldn't lift the weight. I'm pretty sure it has. And if I think about it, I'll probably make a YouTube short explaining that. But I have to really think about it. I can't really think about that right here, at this time. But it's all motivation. It's all a part of staying consistent and going forward in my fitness journey. If there's anything that I dedicate myself to as far as one day of a specific muscle group that I target, it's Monday. It's International Chest Day. And so Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, even sometimes Saturday, when I work out, it's towards that goal. So the exercise that I do is towards that goal. Now, I may not bench or do chest day every single day, but I tend to do it maybe about 3 times a week. And the other days, if I'm not benching, is auxiliary work that I will call it, chest flies, shoulder presses, things like that to help strengthen that area in my body. But there's also my supplementary, or I will call it sister muscles or auxiliary muscles, that you may not think or may not know that has such a significant impact and factor on my bench press. Back. I'm working on getting a stronger back, because that is what is holding the weight up, in addition to my triceps and my forearms, is controlling the descent so it just does not slam on my chest, right? So the bigger that I build my back, the stronger my bench press will be. And that is why you may have seen me post, we do not unbig backs around these parts. We don't unbig backs here. I know the big back mantra was and is started to get kind of popular maybe about 2023, 2024. And it's just fun, but I believe in big backs. I believe in big, strong backs. So do not be discouraged about if you have a big back. Just get stronger. Just get stronger. That is all. And that is another focal point I've been working on, is just overall back strength. But I know I got to get back to my bent over barbell rows, my isolation dumbbell rows, my dumbbell pullovers, and that's just for back. Now, my core is also important in bench pressing just as well too, and that is a major weak point of mine, because it helps build stability just as well too. It helps control my breathing. So I know I need to dedicate a day to work on core. I need a day to work on triceps just as well, because I've noticed triceps take a big brunt of a lot of pressure, a lot of weight that's holding up just as well too. And while I got the bar in my hand and the weight is being stabilized, I'm feeling my triceps being activated, mind you that I am gripping this bar with my hands and my fingers, and what is taking the initial brunt is my forearms. So how do we strengthen forearms? Well, there's a myriad of exercises, a lot of pulling, a lot of dedicated forearm exercises. And now I'm like, okay, now I got a day that I have to focus on forearms and strengthening those. So this is how I build a workout program throughout the week of bench pressing on Monday primarily, and then Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday are exercises and workouts built to strengthen all of the muscles that I use and need to be stronger in order to have a stronger bench press. So hence is why I say it. Everything is connected. Every workout is important. Everything that we do is important. And most of all, our intake, my diet. Am I getting enough water? Am I getting enough sleep? I did a podcast a few weeks ago about how much sleep should men over 40 get. And that will be linked in the description as well. And that plays a big part, because this is why I may need some coffee, a little bit more coffee on Monday morning. Maybe I didn't sleep all the way good on Sunday or Saturday or the weekend. It just depends. And your diet. Maybe the reason why I didn't sleep good is because maybe I was eating like crap. Maybe I didn't get all the vitamins and nutrients. Am I drinking enough protein? All these things are connected. But one thing that connects it all is Monday, because we bench on Monday. And since I bench on Monday, I need to make sure everything is in line throughout the week. So building a routine is important, especially when you want to build strength, and just stay consistent for yourself. And last but not least, having fun with this routine. We bench on Monday. And since you've been following me on YouTube, you've been seeing my AI avatar, and he has this flag and he stomps it on the ground and it pops up. We bench on Monday. And I have another one where he's just standing there and the flag is waving. And this is just having fun. And it's part of getting back in just the routine of creating content. For a while, I've not really been consistent in creating content and being expressive or artistic. And it's just fun. It's just fun. And it's a way for me to have fun again. I did a picture to video AI creation of me hopping out of a box of Oreos. And it's like a reminder of, hey, we bench on Monday. So watch it. And it's all fun. It's all fun. So part of a routine, you begin to have fun. You begin to think about things differently, in that. And it's given me the motivation to learn additional skills. For a while, I was on the fence with AI generation and learning how to use it. And I've just been taking time out to learn more of it and how it can work for me, and just having fun with it. So if you like my little avatar of the guy with the more weight shirt and we bench on Monday, then, comment below and let me know where else you want to see him pop out. I think about, Elf on the Shelf around Christmas time. And I'm just taking that and just having fun with it and running with it. And I have a couple videos that I haven't released in regards to my avatar. I haven't named them or anything like that, where I have them popping out of different things and just taking time out to understand how to adapt and evolve with the times, and that's another part of working out is evolving, trying different workouts, trying different exercises, just evolving and trying something new, trying something different. And this has just been fun. It's been a fun journey, and it's just been helping me be consistent in any way possible. What's your max bench press? On flat, leave that in the comment section. The most that personally I've ever done is, now I will say two things. The most I've ever done is 395, not 4, 395. 395 where I actually bring it down to my chest and press it off without any assistance. Now, I did bench press 405, but I had help. I got it down, and about the midpoint of pressing it back up, I needed some assistance, and I had a spotter there, and I didn't feel like he lifted or, gave me a lot as far as assistance, but I don't count that. I don't count that. I need to get that clean. I need to get this clean. So put it down in the comment section what your max bench press is, and let's just go from there. This isn't a comparison as far as competitive thing. I'm not even really into that. I know people who are, but I'm not necessarily into it. I'm saying, like that. And as far as like powerlifting competitions and things like that, I never entered one. I never planned to. But who knows what the future holds. But that's just honestly at this point in time, that's not my thing. But just let me know in the comment section what your max bench press is. Now, when it comes to that number, and as far as asking for that, it's your 1 rep max. What you can do for 1 rep without any assistance on the barbell bench press, flat bench press, not the Smith machine, but barbell bench press. It doesn't matter what happened last week. It doesn't matter if Tuesday through Sunday was a complete mess. When Monday morning hits, the clock resets and we get back under the bar. I'm chasing a 405-pound bench press, and every single Monday is one step closer. Find your routine, stop overthinking it, and go get your work in. I want to thank you for tuning in to the Success Fitness Podcast. I'm going to leave you with this. Grab your coffee, get to the gym, and let's move some more weight. Why? Because we bench on Monday. Before I run, I use my secret weapon to maximize my performance, the Breather Fit. Not only does the Breather Fit strengthen my lung capacity, it helps accelerate recovery from my workouts. All it takes is 10 breaths for 2 sets to maximize performance before my morning runs. Use my code FITBREATHE at checkout to get 20% off. With Breather Fit, you work hard, but breathe easy.